Well, Vikes, you're watching episode 2 of The Viking Voice.
Today we're joined by Mr. Babcock, who currently teaches regular computer science discoveries, AP Computer Science A, and AP Computer Science Principles. So Babcock, let's start it off.
All right.
If you could describe teaching computer science in one word, what would it be?
Fun.
And what's so fun about it?
I enjoy the students. As I've told my wife, when I can't come home and laugh at what happened during the day is when I retire. So,
And would you ever consider teaching a different subject?
I have taught business law, and some poli-sci before.
Really?
So is computer science, I would assume that you like computer science more than any of that stuff. Could you?
I enjoy it. I did it for a long time. I took computer science classes in high school and in college, so I kind of enjoy it.
Could you tell us a little bit about your past teaching experiences with other subjects?
I started teaching in San Diego. Well, before a long time ago, I ran a program called Youth Build, which we worked with kids. I was the executive director of it, where we worked with kids who had dropped out of high school, a lot of more what they call law enforcement referrals, kids who had been in prison, to help them get their GED and construction training. So I really enjoyed that. I have taught, like I say, when I was at Hoover High School, taught business and business law and some computer science. It's a different challenge. I was at Morris and taught biology, which I have no knowledge of, but the district put me in there. And then after that, I've all been, computer science.
So following up to that question, when did you start your whole teaching career or your career in working with kids?
Working with kids probably started about closer to 20 years ago. But teaching, I've been a teacher in the San Diego Unified School District since 2015. So not a whole long time, been 10 years in teaching. But before that, like I say, I ran the Project Youth Build, and then I've coached a ton over the years.
How do you feel about coaching? Do you like coaching better or teaching?
I enjoy them both. Coaching's a lot of fun. Nowadays, I don't coach much anymore because I've had some issues, health issues and whatnot, and it's a little tough. Especially, I've taught or coached both at the high school level, football and wrestling. And both of them are kind of taxing on the body. Football especially, I've screwed up my knees over the years, and being on that turf for very long, they start swelling and hurting. And then wrestling, it's tough to get back on the mat with 17-year-olds rolling when you're a little older than that.
So what got you interested in wrestling?
I've always been when I was growing up, I grew up with 4 brothers. There was no sisters, 5 boys. We wrestled in the house and broke up all the furniture. And so I've been kind of in that. I remember during the Olympics in Mexico City, we would watch the wrestling and then we would clear out the living room and do it in there in the house. So,
Was it always traditional wrestling or any like WWE stuff?
oh, we'd start traditional, but then jump off the couches and whatnot.
Okay.
Because both my parents worked, so we would just get in trouble at the end of the day when everything was broken. But yeah.
So how was your career as a high school wrestler? And you mentioned you played football in high school. How was your career there?
They both could have been better if I would have paid more attention and actually put more effort into it. I enjoyed my high school sports years, but I was kind of focused on other issues too, and so I didn't focus on being an athlete. I focused on some other aspects that might have been a little more negative, and didn't help me become a better athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So on the topic of that, what was your high school experience like in general?
I went to Crawford High School. I graduated from Crawford High School. The athletic part was fun. I remember, I don't know if you guys would know who this is, but I played against a guy named Marcus Allen, who was later on in the NFL Hall of Fame. He destroyed us. But high school was an interesting time. I developed probably a lot of bad habits during that period of time. Got into some trouble once in a while. And it took me a few years after high school to kind of get myself straight from things that had happened. And so I enjoyed it, but probably enjoyed it too much.
That actually brings up a pretty good question. So what made you want to like make that change in your life? Like what was the turning point for you?
The turning point was lying in a hospital bed and deciding that I was 19 years old. And the year after high school, I had been in a hospital bed a couple of different times for different things and thinking, this is not a good way to go because I had several friends that didn't make it to 21 and was looking at it that where I was going probably wouldn't be, might have followed them and chose not, said, I've got to do something different. So after I got out of that, I was in the hospital in June of my 19th year. And so in September, I enrolled in community college and slowly started going to school and whatnot. So, yeah.
And then following community college, what were your plans after that?
Really, when I started college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. In fact, my first major was telecommunications, sitting behind a board like this. But got into political science when I was in college. I went and did a little over a semester of school in Spain, and I saw an amazing riot between fascist and communist. There used to be a dictator in Spain named Franco, and he had died already, but on his birthday, the fascists and the communists used to meet together in this it was called the Plaza Mayor, and they would just beat each other up all day. And then at the end of the day, they'd come in with the water cannons. Everybody would go home. And I said, wow, politics is kind of cool. So that kind of got me going towards politics.
Okay, that's awesome. You ever think about history? Teaching that?
Not really teaching history. I don't have a credential for it, so I can't.
Okay.
But, I enjoy history.
That's very interesting.
So from what it sounds like, you've lived a crazy life and you've experienced a bunch of things. What are some of like the craziest life-changing experiences that you've had?
Before I was 10, the girl across the street from us died in a Christmas tree fire. Next door to them, one of the girls there, she committed suicide. And later her brother did. So these were kind of negative. And then we didn't realize at the time that we lived in kind of a rough neighborhood. We just thought this was normal because also up the street, one of the guys shot his stepfather and all kinds of stuff. But that area of time kind of, I don't know, it's probably kind of a PTSD as you're growing up, going through that stuff. And then later on, after high school, I got into a lot of negative things, kind of not gang, but I knew a lot of gang-affiliated people and used to hang out with some of those guys, and had been knifed and shot and some other things. So and then also got hit head-on by a drunk driver. That's the last time I was in the hospital during that period of time. So all that kind of led me to those were life-changing moments. And then I don't know, that was probably the biggest things that changed my life.
Can you talk more about the drunk driver hitting you?
I was coming home late one night. I had a 64 Chevy, and a drunk giant jumped the island, hit my car head on. And in a 64 Chevy, one, back in those days, we didn't use seatbelts. And two, it was a metal dashboard. So if you see me around campus limping, it's because both my knees went into a metal dashboard. And that's where I had to have surgery and spent some time in the hospital. So yeah, it was kind of a tumultuous time. And I learned to use humor to kind of push that stuff out of, the way. Some of my other buddies, I had a bunch of buddies. Like I say, 8 of my buddies didn't make it to 21. So when we get together now, I still get together, about once a year with a lot of the guys I grew up with. We kind of use humor to tell the old stories and get over all that kind of stuff.
Okay, awesome. And also real quick, What advice would you give to your younger self, say 19, 18?
My younger self, don't do what I did. I should have spent more time paying attention in high school. Should have gone straight to college. One of the things I learned at that point was, and that's why I love teaching, is because I learned the only way to really get out of all that was through education. And to focus on my education and get into it. Of the guys I grew up with, I was the only guy to graduate high school.
Really?
None of my friends not high school, of college. None of my friends went to college. Guys I grew up with, most of them came out okay and, had different careers, and some are retired now. But I was the only guy that I hung out with that graduated from college. And then I went on and got a master's and whatnot, which for my neighborhood was pretty unusual.
So if you could give any piece of advice to any of the audience watching right now, what would it be?
Actually, try to figure out what you want to do with your life, and then focus how you can get there. And it may not be going to college. If you really like the construction trades, focus on that, but try to focus on something and get passionate about it. I lived kind of not passionate about anything when I was in high school, and that's why I got into trouble. You need to have a good focus, and that'll help you out a lot.
So I know for a lot of high school students, including myself, it's very hard to find that thing that you're passionate about. So how would you tell the audience or anyone watching, how would you advise them to find that passion?
I don't know if I'm an expert at that. I didn't find my passion for teaching till I hit my 50s. We all find things at different times in our life. I've had several different careers over the years, liked them all, and just kept trying to do something. But I don't know, just try to figure out what you want to do, and try to focus on that.
So try new things.
Yeah. Well, new things that are positive, not negative. Okay.
So would you say that kind of thing would come with time, since obviously you said
we all have our different schedule. I took I started changing when I was 19, but didn't kind of really get my grounding on moving forward in a total positive direction till I was in my late 20s. I was going to school and everything, but I still was doing stupid stuff.
All right, we're gonna shift the topic over to your personal life. So
it's not personal enough.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this.
So first question I'll ask is, what's your favorite food?
Ribeye.
Ribeye. So for those who don't know, Babcock eats a carnivore diet. So would you like to explain what that means?
A carnivore diet, and there's some different variations of it. Some people are very strict carnivore, which is just meat and water. I'm on the more, I would say, liberal side of the carnivore diet. I'll have dairy, butter, cheeses, eggs. I eat fish, chicken, but most of what I eat is ribeye steak. It might have a ribeye steak with some butter. And then I cheat every morning because I do have a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee mixed with butter, and that's my breakfast of the day.
Butter in the coffee?
You put butter in the coffee, I put it in the blender, and boom. That's yeah.
That's a hot combination. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think it's good. I only eat grass-fed butter because I think it's better for you.
You're gonna make a lot of vegans mad.
Oh, I know. But I think everybody should do what they think is best for them. If you're vegan and it works for you, that's fine. When I eat carbs, my knees start to get real, because of the problems I've got, accidents I've had, my knees get real stiff and painful when I eat a lot of carbs.
Right.
So on the topic of that, I actually have a friend that goes to this school who's not completely on a carnivore diet, but he only eats meat and fruits. He thinks vegetables are terrible for you. Do you have any opinions on that?
I agree with him on vegetables. I have never been a big veggie eater anyway, but a lot of vegetables, through time, they developed to stop bugs from eating them. They do have some chemicals in them that for some people doesn't work well. For me, they tend to, cause inflammation. And everybody, needs to look at what's best for them. Some people can't eat bread because of, the gluten's in it. So we're all individuals. So, I would never say that my diet's perfect. My wife thinks I'm nuts. She doesn't follow my diet. So, we all do our own thing.
So Babcock, what do you like to do like on a weekend,
On a weekend, I have a Jeep that I spend either half the time. I love going out into the desert with it or fixing it after I've broken it out there. I do that. I still love sports. I work out a lot. I am very involved with, I'm writing a book on Indian clubs and Persian meals and clubs in general.
Really?
Which clubs are these giant original weapons of humans, and going back through the history of clubs up to how they're used now in physical fitness and whatnot.
For those of you that don't know, he can do the heaviest one easily. It's
I have heavier
it's kind of
ones
sad.
at
It's kind of
home.
humbling, honestly.
I have some heavier
Trying
ones
it.
at home that I don't bring in, but.
So you said you like to watch sports. What are your favorite? What sports teams do you like?
This is going to sound a little weird, but in football, I was at the last Charger game at the stadium, and when they moved out of town, I've never watched another NFL game, whether it's Super Bowl or any other NFL.
Really?
Yeah. I said if the NFL's too good for San Diego, I'm too good for the NFL. So I stopped watching it.
Fair.
I love the Padres, always have. Used to see the Padres when they were a minor league ball club. We used to go when actually when we were in high school, they used to have something called Businessman Special where they would have 1:00 games. And we might somehow have gotten passes to leave school and go watch the Padres and whatnot. So I love the Padres. I'm an Aztec for life. Their football team frustrates the heck out of me. But basketball I love. So mostly I'm a homer.
So on the topic of the Padres, just really quick, did you watch the game last night?
I missed last night's game. I heard Manny got a grand slam.
Yeah, I was listening to the radio while that happened in the car with my dad. It's pretty hype.
Yeah.
I want to just shift the topic real quick. So you're into like obviously computer science and all that. I was wondering, besides teaching, like what else have you done with it, like in your knowledge of that subject?
Okay, I used to have a political consulting firm. Had that for like 25 years, and I developed software that we could do automated political polling and statistical analysis for campaigns. Did that for several years. We were kind of at the time on the cutting edge of that technology, and then sold that company. But I really enjoyed getting into it and developing the software to do automated polling.
So on the topic of computer science, with the growth of AI, how do you see the world around it?
Okay, the growth of there's a difference, I think, between what's going to do to computer science and what it's going to. I always tell people, if you want to know what the future of AI, watch the movie Terminator. Now, that's kind of a little out there, but I think, AI is going to destroy a lot of present industries. Just as the Industrial Revolution destroyed other industries, as technology, their big job used to be a wagon wheel maker. That got destroyed. So it's a very tough thing for a society to go through because people start losing their jobs, and part of who we are is what we do. And so I think as AI comes in computer science, it's going to start. 4 years ago, I went to a seminar the district sent me to on ChatGPT. Then I put in some coding problems. It was horrible. Couldn't do coding. I put it in now. It can do a lot of the, probably 98% of the coding right. And it's eventually going to there's still going to need to be people in those fields, but not as many. And that's an unfortunate thing. And that's happening in engineering and finance. And actually the last jobs that AI will probably attack are the blue-collar jobs, the trades, plumbers, pipe fitters, construction guys.
Okay, but also I feel like it's arguable that AI will also create a lot of jobs as well. such as like a lot in tech work, like constructing those technologies that are gonna like strengthen AI, like
Yeah.
drones and all that stuff.
I think so. I mean, if you look at it, that is the one area in technology. There's a company in San Diego that just developed some software to work with 3D printings where they can make drones in large scale military drones in less than a day. Wow. And they can move this technology in an airplane to wherever the battlefield is. So there's that kind of thing. And there's a company out of Boston called Boston Dynamics that has done some amazing things with robots and AI. They can do parkour with these robots, so it's kind of cool what's going there. So, but eventually, I think AI will then be able to build its own stuff. So we'll see what happens. But it's always technology. There's always pluses and minuses with any technology that comes along.
Yeah. So what are your views as a teacher with students who have been using AI in every class?
Well, there's two different ways of using AI. There's some positive ways of getting ideas, using it to help you do research. And then there's AI that is just you're writing your English essay with AI. Uh-huh. Those in the long run are you may get by in your English class or whatever, but eventually you're not going to know how to write a paper. Or when you get to college, you may not get past. And so what happens is it destroys your ability to think a little better. You start focusing on how easy it is to use the AI to do your history or code, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It'll make you lazier. And we as teachers need to figure out how to bring AI into the classroom better. When I was going to high school is when they first came out with calculators. And at that time, the math teacher said, we're never allowing calculators in the classroom. Now, as a school district, we hand you calculators because we've learned how to use that technology better. And it didn't dumb down the population is what they were thinking at the time. So we will eventually, it's going to be a tough few years, figure out how to bring AI into the classroom better than where it's at right now. Yeah. But that's what happens when you move forward.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're just going to sum it up because we're running out of time.
Okay.
What are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future, I probably, like I say, I still have fun teaching, so I'm hoping about another 7 years of teaching.
Really?
My wife and I in the summer months we travel, and so I'll keep doing that and playing around as long as I keep swinging my heavy clubs and doing things. I think we'll be okay.
Is there any place in the world that you've always wanted to travel to and you haven't yet?
There's a couple. I would love to go to Machu Picchu. I've never been there.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, my son went there last year. He loved it. And I would also like to go through Vietnam and Cambodia and those areas. I think that would be fabulous to go to. Yeah. See some different things. And I know I'll probably never get a chance because of political concern. I would love to go to Iran because that's where the birth of these Persian meals that I swing came from. And they still have these zircon. I have a horrible pronunciation, but zircon, these houses of strength where they swing. And I would love to see from the original masters how it's done.
And with your kids, like you can just brag about them real quick. I feel like a lot of people don't know about them.
I only have one kid.
It's your son?
Just my son.
And does he also do computer science?
No, he does not.
Okay.
He went to college, graduated, and then or he left. He went through college during the whole COVID thing. And so it was actually part of the time he was in college, he went down the Amazon River and did his classes while he was on the Amazon River. He's an adventurous, but he doesn't work in the field that he studied. He actually he loves working with his hands. So he works in the trades and whatnot. But he just got married a month ago. And
Congrats.
to a great woman. And so, he's doing pretty good. He's 26 right now.
Okay, awesome. That's pretty successful.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we'll be closing the podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to Mr. Babcock for joining us today. You were
thank you for having me.
Of course.
Tune in next time, y'all.
Tune in next time. We'll see you guys on the next episode.